Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Black Friday. How is everyone doing this morning? Good morning, Odie Green. Good morning, oh boy, Patrick. Good morning, Sterling. Yeah, CME Data Center did have issues. Halted trading for quite a while, but what better day for it to happen? I mean, the night of Thanksgiving and morning of Black Friday. Everything's resumed now. I mean, if you're going to have an outage, why not now? Yeah, and I agree. I agree where Patrick put that. Put your data center in Minnesota. It's 15 degrees to say, Patrick, what are you still doing in Minnesota? By the way, here was sitting out on the porch with my wife last night. That was the sunset view from our front porch. So I thought that was rather pretty last night. So there you go. If you like good sunsets, that was ours from last night. Little from Thanksgiving evening before we ate. What else do we have here? Sterling fully endorses the all-man turducken for large. Yes, it is a Sterling. You're going to have a lot of leftovers, I think. But anything food related from Mike. If trading gets tired, if he gets tired of trading, he could be a chef or food critic. I'd rather be a food critic. But I'm glad your turducken turned out so well, Sterling. It is fun to do every so often. Uh, Odie Green is expecting snow in Indiana. Yeah, my wife, when she flies back, she's going to go flying back to snow and very cold. It's supposed to be like an Arctic blast hitting, Minnesota, Chicago, parts of Indiana, and Michigan. Gonna be fun, but I'll get the sunsets. Good. Oh, well, I have to say, I can't say good morning to Charles. Hello, Charles. Always has nice sunsets. I think it's just some of the particulate in the air, the way the sun hits it, but that was the sunset. Ah, there's nothing more relaxing than sitting out. It got to 77 degrees yesterday. No humidity, just sitting outside, having a fine, refreshing adult beverage and watching the sunset. That is there's nothing better than that. And then I did not do turkey yesterday. I did not do turkey. My wife's not crazy about turkey. I'm gonna do some turkey this weekend. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't feel like doing it on Thanksgiving, so we did. We had beef Wellington and lobster mac and cheese. That was our Thanksgiving. Non-traditional Thanksgiving, but very, very good. Yes, it is Arizona. It is Arizona. Yeah. Thank you, Odie Green. Yeah, that's Daniel. See, are you back, Daniel? Good morning. Are you back? Daniel, by the way, when he's in town, stays close to me. Uh, Especially for National Guard. Good morning, Black Friday. It was not good. It was not a good day with the National Guard. Two got shot, one died yesterday. It was an adult beverage. All right, why aren't we talking about the markets? Don't go crazy today, please. Please, please, please. It was. I might have had a couple adult beverages. Ah. So there's nothing. I mean, we already had the CME out for a lot of trading. It's back open now. It opened at 7:30 Central Time again. Bull Strike Cheetah is freezing his butt off in Belgium. What's the temperature there in Belgium? What is your temperature in Belgium? Again, I lived overseas in Switzerland. Uh so traveled Europe. So nothing today. Let's look at our heat map. Oracle's still getting beat up after its little pop. Mag 7, except for Nvidia, doing fine. Overall, pretty green day. It's going to be light trading. The major market players are generally out today, and the desks are turned over to the the junior traders, and of course the algos. So don't do anything silly. Your data also freezes. Well, geez, what was the temperature in Chicago? I didn't look, but it was not warm in Chicago. They could have just opened the windows in the data center. Or the CME. Oh boy, comm service technology consumer cyclical leading. The only thing lagging, we got healthcare and basic materials. Beverage of your choice. We'll have to listen to him on surveillance. A beverage of your choice. Well, you can always have a beverage of your choice. I chose an adult one. An adult one from a sippy cup. uh Again, it's don't go crazy. Well, there's a couple minor topping patterns. We have this trend still up. They're very minor, so they just be for minor pullbacks only. Trading will really resume on Monday. 87% for the cut on the 10th of December, which is 12 days away. Fear and greed. All right, we're back to trading. We're not in extreme fear anymore. I'm sorry. There's no earnings today, by the way. That's just up as a placeholder. Look at this. We're within how much of the all-time highs? And we're in extreme fear mode. This don't I know it's Black Friday. This, by the way, let's look at the bigger picture. Watching today where it closes, but we need some even if it triggers this minor topping pattern, if it closes above last week's high. All right, your contract at work ends December 20th, then off to AZ. Well, let me know when you're back here, Daniel. Let me know when you're back here. Uh if this triggers, this would be a percent B buy. So what would I figure? By the way, the double is the double, since it only hit the first and caught in the rotation zone, is off the table based off the daily closing above the 6.2.5. I just forgot to take it off. So this weekly would be a percent B buy. So then I'd be looking for continued higher prices. What higher prices? So that's why, unless something changes drastically, I'm going to watch for. We get pullback moves, but I'm going to still watch for some upwards play, especially a 6898 level, so 6900. If it does break out to new highs, then we're looking at around 7,000 and 7,060 as clusters. But even on pullbacks, I'll be watching again back for buying setups in the short term. Good morning, Balaji. NASDAQ. Oh, by the way, S&P, it does have a little minor. You can see it here. Minor 4-hour, 1-hour potential double top. You have the outage in here. You have that gap due to the cooling system outage. That's the only thing I'm watching. Would I be shorting it? No, it's into the 4-hour rotation zone, into a very key support level that we broke out of on Wednesday. Just be looking at that if it were to trigger for minor pullbacks. We're stalling out right now at the 75% harmonic, which we hit on Friday. And then there's not much left. Intermediate stopping points I'm using is 68.75, then the 68.98, so 6,900. Don't all bounces off support begin with low volume? Well, yeah, technically, when anything first hits a level, it's lower volume, and then we have to see if it holds. But again, I don't think I said today's just going to be a lower volume day in general. The NASDAQ, again, minor 4-hour against the rotation zone into key support. Next targets for me are 25,463. Then if we close above that, we haven't shifted the probabilities in the NASDAQ yet. Haven't shifted them yet, but if they did close above 25,463 today, the next target would be 25,775, then 26,087. Then this is a long way off from triggering from breaking the new highs though, but we could easily get into more significant topping territory. The Dow, same thing here. 4-hour minor double top against the rotation zone. The Dow did not on Wednesday close above the 62.5, so I'll be watching that today to shift the probabilities. And then also the other targets on the double would come off. Russell also has a minor 4-hour double top into the rotation zone. Overall, though, the Russell did close back above the 62.5 on Tuesday. So we've already ticked off the 75%. If it continues higher, you have the 87.5%. 25.33 would be the next target, and this is a clear path move. The VIX already collapsing way back down. So I'm not confident that we're going to, it's going to be easy sailing all the way through December. So I'm going to start looking for hedges again. But in the short term, we still have the probabilities potentially shifting up, especially based off the S&P. So I'm looking for, we might pop a little if we get any pullbacks, but another drop in the VIX and then look for some potential hedges. What else do we have? The yields. Oh, let me go to DAX. Sorry, skip the DAX. Again, it's above the rotation zone now. So the next key area is 23,930. Other than that, cycles are back to the top in the DAX. I'll just be watching to see if it reverses below the 4-hour rotation zone. The yields, trying to put in some buy with cycles at the bottom, very oversold. So I'm at least going to be watching for a bounce set up in here, getting a little overdone to the yields to the downside. Crude, again, not much to talk about. Normally, I'd be looking today for a break potentially higher, but it's thin trading today. So not really paying attention to crude. But it is trying to get, you have a lot of buying pressure all week, especially on drops below 58. What else do we have? Natty gas. Still no topping pattern, trying to break out to the upside. So that is moving on up. Gold, we got to look at the rolled contract for the double bottom. Has hit the first target. First target officially hit. So next targets are right at this topping area. It didn't really work on that roll contract on that time frame, but it did work on this on the 4-hour time frame, which it was a valid 4-hour pattern. 42.56 and 42.85 are the continued targets for gold. What else do we have? Silver launching to new highs. Launching to new highs finally. 55.53 was a harmonic, and we got up right to that area. If we continue higher on silver, my next cluster area is about 56.65 to 57 for the silver players out there. Dollar index, not been able to get much traction. This is another one. If we do close above yesterday's high, it is a percent beat buy. Going to be paying more attention to this node next week. It's trading against very key support. Euro is holding above a support ledge, so I'm going to watch how it closes in relation to 115.70. Spiders, we have a gap up from Friday, so on any rollover, 679.68 would be the first target, but taking out the 75, next major target is 684.84, and there is still a gap fill before then to 683.38. So on any rally today, my first target would be for this gap left behind. Okay, the Qs. Again, no close above 62.5 yet. So in the Qs, I'm going to be watching today for 615.91. If the next target, there's still a gap left behind here to 621.08. And then you have 622.94. Bitcoin The little bounce continues at Bitcoin. Again, not surprising with major oversold off the weekly. If it does continue higher, 100 is going to be key resistance now. And in the short term, it's around 94,000. So, Bitcoin continuing its bounce out of its miserable condition of oversoldness. That is about it today. Oracle, still, I'm not touching Oracle, but Broadcom, I'm just watching for further price action. No, Broadcom actually taking out this upper channel sloping line. I'm watching for 410.90, the 410 411 area. In that, Nvidia, again, the things are rotating out of Nvidia, and they're doing other AI plays, not Oracle. But Broadcom has definitely taken over the play there, and Alphabet, little pullback here. At least we have a new pausing bar now. So keep an eye still. The two main ones I'm watching are Google or Alphabet and Broadcom. The little minor levels, if Google can, if it takes out the high from Tuesday, which was right in front of the last major harmonic, the minor harmonics are 336 and 343. Good morning, Darkstream. Watch the rotation zones, the 4-hour rotation zone, the daily rotation zone, and the weekly rotation zone. That is all I have to say. Don't overdo it on this Black Friday with thin trading. Tesla is approaching a potential double bottom 2 off the first target from the double top. So that's all I have for you today. I will be back on Monday to kick off the holiday season trading between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I will see everybody then. Good morning. How are you doing? Boy, I wish they'd fix this with the names. I wish they'd fix this with the names. Until then, if you tuned in late and you want to see the sunset from my front porch last night, watch the beginning of the video. Thank you, you too, OD Green. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I shall talk to everyone later. Bye for now.